Hi, it's me, Ceinna, and I am back with another makeup and fairy tales video. Sorry that I've been gone for so long, but I want to say thank you to everyone who has still been watching and commenting my videos, even though I haven't been posting, or even if you've just been waiting for me. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry, but I'm back now. I'm going to get back into the makeup and fairy tales series. I'm also going to be posting some other stuff. This is my first time doing box braids by myself. I wanted to just do them first so that when I do make a video for y'all, I can at least have some insight on what I struggled with and what I was able to improve. So it's my first time doing box braids. I'm gonna take these out and leave them out for like a week or two, and then I'm gonna do them again, and I will be recording that. I also put beads on them. Look how cute they are, wait. They're just wooden beads, and then I also got aventurine beads, which is a gemstone that I think is really cute. I love having these in. So I cannot wait to do a video on that. I have plenty of other stuff I want to get into with y'all. So I'm back. We're back at it, and I'm really sorry that I've been gone. But here we go. The story I'm going to be doing today is called Merlin's Craig. It's a really old story, so I was not able to find an author to credit the story, but it's about little fairies, and of course they're going to be tricky, they're going to act a fool, but we're going to get into it. So I'm going to bring you guys closer in, and we're going to get started. It's a pretty quick story, so I won't keep you for very long. Because it's such a short story, I'm gonna do my primer and then my brows off camera, and then I'm gonna come back to do my eyeshadow, my full face. I'm gonna try to do like a fairy look today. I don't have a full plan, but I'm gonna try to give fairy. We'll see how it ends up at the end. But I'm gonna do it off camera and I'll be back. So this story takes place in Lanarkshire, Scotland, and it's said that if you go there and you walk for miles and miles through a soggy, bleak moorland, you will come upon these jagged rocks sticking straight up out of the peat, and this is known as Merlin's Craig. So it said that thousands of years ago, the wizard Merlin used to do his magic there, and he would use the black peat of the land to conduct some of his spells. And peat is just like a special moss basically that they could use and burn to have fuel and, like, you know, heat because it burns. They say that if you go there, the land feels like it's charged with this wild magical energy from him doing a bunch of spell work in the area. So our specific story takes place a couple hundred years ago, and there was a man who worked at a farm near Merlin's Craig. One day, his boss tells him to go out there and bring back some peat, which is that moss we talked about. So the man does as he's asked. He goes out to the crag with his shovel, and he finds a really nice patch of peat, and he starts digging. As soon as he starts digging, this small little woman, who is a fairy, comes up from underneath the section of peat that he's lifting and starts screaming at him. He describes the woman as very small but very beautiful. She has long hair down to her waist, and she's wearing a green gown and red stockings. Very Christmas vibes in the summertime. It's also summertime, so I don't know. Maybe that was just like, I don't know, personal style. So anyway, so she comes out and she starts yelling at him, and she's like, I don't know what you mortals think when you come out here and you just start taking the roofs off our house, off our homes. You just come here and you start lifting the tops of our houses off. And he's just standing there staring at her like in awe, completely shook, doesn't know what to do, is just staring. And she continues to shout and tells him, put it back where you found it, or you will rue the day that you ever lifted it up. She's serious. Which, like, is understandable, because imagine if someone came and just took the roof off your house. Like it's theirs. Very entitled, very rude. At this point, the man is scared because he's heard the stories of what fairies do to people who upset them. And so he puts it back right away. He goes to tell his boss, and his boss pretty much just laughs at him and like scoffs and is like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you saw fairies. You're probably drinking, probably drunk. You need to go back there, get the peat that I asked you for, or I'm not gonna pay you this week. And the man had a wife and 2 small children, so he's like, it's either I can't feed my family or I deal with whatever nonsense the fairies have for me. And he picked nonsense, and he went right back, and he goes to start digging up the peat like he was asked. So he goes and he starts digging. He sees no fairies, and this job takes him a few days, and he just keeps digging, keeps taking Pete back to the farm, waiting for one of the fairies to say something to stop him, and none of them do. Nobody shows up, so he just keeps working. So the days go by, he sees no fairies, and as the time is passing, he starts to think that his boss was right. He starts to think that he was really crazy. He either dreamed it or hallucinated it, and that there was really no fairy at all. He continues to work. Autumn goes by, then spring, and then summer, and now it has been 1 whole year to the day that he saw that fairy. He worked throughout the whole year, no fairy approached him, nobody stopped him, and now it's a whole year later. He had been working so hard on the farm, and his boss was so happy with his work that he sent him home with some milk as a gift for his family. So the man starts on his way home, and he's so happy because he's been gifted something by his boss, and he's been having such a great year, and there was no fairy drama, that he goes home with the spring in his step. He is humming, he is happy, and it's such a beautiful night that he decides to go the long way. And the long way home happens to take him through a path that is really close to Merlin's crag. Suddenly, when he gets close to the crag, his feet start to get tired and he needs to sit down. He's not feeling good, and he suddenly falls into a deep sleep. If my audio sounds different, it's because I got a mic, and I just realized when my camera died, it was a whole thing, that I don't think I had it set up correctly. So if it sounds differently, I'm sorry for the drastic change. I'm gonna just finish off this video and hope that it's not that bad and I can fix it when editing, but if it's a horrible change, I'm really sorry. When it's midnight, he's woken up right at midnight to some lively music and a bunch of fairies dancing in a circle around him and waving their fists in his face. Why? I don't know, because visually, I feel like it would look a little weird to be dancing and waving your fist, but that's what they were doing. He gets up and tries to be on his way and get away from the fairies, but everywhere that he goes, they just follow him in their little circle. They just follow him around until eventually this cute little fairy lady comes out and she asks him to dance. So all the fairies start laughing and they move the circle around to let him through and tell him, dance with her, dance, dance, dance. Now, he is not really much of a dancer. As much as he can recall, that's never been his thing, but he goes ahead and does what they say because obviously he's in a high stress situation. As he's dancing with her, he starts to just feel like he's been a dancer his whole life. He's having the most fun he's ever had dancing. He feels like a professional. He's just having fun, getting in with all the little fairy people, and he starts to feel euphoric, and he starts to forget about his family, about his job, about his children. He's just dancing with the fairies and lets all his cares go and is having the most fun he's ever had. They danced and danced all night long until the rooster at the farm crowed, which means it was like, what, dawn. Suddenly, everything stopped. All the merriment, all the dancing, everyone completely stopped. Suddenly, a door opened up in the rocks and they all cluttered in and dragged the man with them. Ooh, let's work her out. That's a little bit of a lot. I have never done fake freckles before, but I decided today was the day I'm gonna try. Obviously, because we're doing fairy vibe. Let's see if I can pull it off. Oh. Okay, it's kind of coming together, I'm not even gonna lie. It's kind of cute. I'm gonna do the fake freckles off camera because it's gonna take a while, but I'll be right back. These are the faux freckles I came up with. Don't drag me, it's my first time. I think they're kind of cute though. I really think the fairy fantasy is coming to life. I really do. Moving on. So they took him down into their little fairy home and he got to see all the secret little stuff they were doing. He saw them dip their quills into magical fairy ink and write down their spells. He saw them making honey with flowers and even writing down their lore and their stories. All he could do was sit and watch and be amazed. So he sits there for the whole day and watches them work, watches them distill whiskey, do all their little fairy things until the little woman that he had seen a year prior comes to get him She leads him back to the door that he came through, and she says to him, "The turf that you took from our roof has reformed." She tells him that there is grass growing there again, and so now he is free to go home. But she makes him swear never to tell any mortal what he saw there. He swears to her that he will not tell any mortal what he has seen, and he leaves. Now, he obviously didn't do a very good job because he's told some things, but apparently there are things that he saw there that he never told a soul. So there's stuff that happened that we'll never know about. So the man happily leaves with all his little fairy secrets and his wild adventure in the back of his mind. He's just rushing home to get home to his family. He spent the whole day away from them and he misses them so much. He finally makes it home. He opens the door to find his wife staring at him, shocked. She asked him where he went, why he's been gone for so long, and how he could abandon her and their children. He's looking at his wife and he's like really confused because he can tell that she's aged. And he looks over to see his kids and finds that they are not little babies. When he left, they were little infant babies, and now they are small children. He speaks to his wife and is trying to collect the pieces of what has gone on, and she looks at him and said, "You have been gone for 7 years." Yeah, so his one day with the fairies lasted 7 years. That was his punishment for taking the peat and the roof from the fairies' home, was that he had to stay with them until it grew back, and he lost 7 years of his life and his time with his family. He continued to live out the rest of his life, but he never ever went back near Merlin's Crag ever again. Thank you guys so much for sitting with me and listening to this story. I thought it was really, really interesting. It's again the fairies being tricky and having that wrath. Like every single story I've ever read, they always come back with a vengeance. You cannot mess with them. I think they're so interesting. It's so fun to read. Hopefully you guys liked it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. I will be back with more of these videos, amongst other things. Like I said, I wanted my hair braiding video and some other things I have going on that I can't wait to bring to YouTube. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.